The generation of electricity for residential and commercial use significantly contributes to climate change. In the United States, approximately 25% of greenhouse gas emissions stem from electricity production, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Solar panels and wind farms offer environmentally friendly alternatives for electricity generation, producing power without releasing greenhouse gas emissions. Nuclear power plants also have this capability, albeit with the drawback of producing long-lasting radioactive waste for which there is no permanent storage solution. However, the U.S. electricity sector remains heavily reliant on fossil fuels. In 2021, 61% of electricity generation came from burning coal, natural gas, or petroleum, with only 20% of electricity coming from renewables, primarily wind, hydropower, and solar energy, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. An additional 19% was generated by nuclear power. The contribution from renewables has been steadily increasing since the 1990s, with a rapid acceleration in recent years. For instance, wind power generated only 2.8 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity in 1990, but this figure grew to 5.6 billion in 2000, 94.6 billion in 2010, and 379.8 billion in 2021. While this represents progress, it falls short of the necessary pace to mitigate the most severe effects of climate change for future generations. Philanthropist and technologist Bill Gates, in his 2023 annual letter, emphasized the need to eliminate global greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 to prevent escalating suffering due to extreme weather events. The challenge is even greater than it appears. Saul Griffith, an entrepreneur with expertise in mass electrification, argues that we not only need to generate the same amount of electricity as we do now but triple it to meet the demand for electric vehicles, heating systems, and stoves. While electricity isn't inherently clean, has the potential to be cleaner than gas-powered stoves or gasoline-fueled cars. The technology for generating electricity from wind and solar sources has existed for decades, so why hasn't the U.S. achieved a 100% renewable energy grid? What will it take to get there? Economic factors play a significant role. Renewables have only recently become cost competitive with fossil fuels for electricity generation, with pricing influenced by location. Solar energy, for example, is often the cheapest option in sunny places like California and Arizona, but less so in areas with less sunlight, like Maine. Similarly, wind power is cost competitive with fossil fuels in wind-rich regions like North Dakota, but less so in the Southeast. Transitioning the existing power generation infrastructure, which was built around fossil fuels, also poses challenges. It takes time for renewables to become cheaper than running old, paid-off power plants. Moreover, the U.S. has a substantial amount of legacy equipment that needs replacement, which is a slow process. Intermittency is another hurdle. Many renewable sources, such as wind and solar, are intermittent. To address this, energy storage solutions like batteries are necessary to store excess power for times when generation is low. However, developing and deploying these batteries will require time and investment. Transmission infrastructure is also a limiting factor, particularly when renewable resources are located far from major population centers. Building new transmission lines can take a decade or more, and the costs are significant. Concerns about land usage for renewable energy installations are often raised, but this issue is relatively minor compared to the land footprint of the fossil fuel industry. Offshore wind, tidal, and wave power, as well as rooftop photovoltaic systems, have minimal land requirements. Ultimately, transitioning to a 100% renewable-powered world requires overcoming economic, regulatory, and political challenges. Clear government policies and market incentives can drive the shift, as seen in countries like Norway. In the U.S., a lack of consistent rules and regulatory uncertainty hinders progress. Moreover, the inertia of existing systems, workforce training limitations, and supply chain issues make the transition more difficult. To succeed, Americans must witness successful renewable energy models in action elsewhere, and then pressure politicians and industries to adopt similar approaches domestically. Economic incentives and the desire to escape utility bills may be more effective motivators than environmental concerns in some regions. Achieving a fully renewable energy grid is a complex endeavor, but it is both feasible and crucial for a sustainable future.